This is CTP Know the Truth. It is now Tuesday, October the 27th, exactly 1 week before the presidential election between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, representing the Americans, and Donald John Trump and Mike Pence, representing national suicide. Now, what I'm about to do is I'm going to paraphrase a special comment that was done by my friend Keith Olberman, who was among many things, a political commentator for MSNBC, a sportscaster for ESPN and ESPN2, and this particular one is from The Closer from GQ, the web series that he created in 2016 during and after the 2016 election. Now, just bear with me because this one is pretty important for everyone of you to listen to. The calendar may say 2020, but for all intents and purposes, this might as well be November 8th, 1864. Because not since that day have we Americans voted on whether or not to put our country out of existence. For all the existential national crisis of the intervening century and a half since Lincoln was reelected, none of those possibilities have ever found or even come close to national suicide. That is how deadly serious this week is. Go forward with Joe Biden, who'll be a good replacement, hamstringed by a partisan Supreme Court, and the same nonsensical conspiracy theories that stopped Hillary Clinton from being president and the jabs of his health. Or we put the power of this government in the hands of an overwrought child, a political amateur who believes he's God's gift to the world, his supporters who believe that he is God's gift to the world, and who can be begged by reporters not lining up to kiss his ass every single time, who complained about 60 Minutes not showing him any respect. And just a small preview of the next 4 years if he's reelected. Nothing will be done about the coronavirus pandemic. The aggressive nations like Russia and North Korea will gain more and more influence and more power. The Constitution of the United States will be optional, to be followed, and people of color will continue to be sacrificed at the altar of law enforcement, and the altar of white supremacy groups will still be done nothing about. All because of the ego of one American and the incompetence of other Americans inside and outside of government, and the hatred and incapacity to understand that everything that they think they love about this country could be destroyed merely by a man who thinks he isn't being respected enough. And not to even understand the fact that if Donald Trump fails, all of them will fall. That is how deadly serious next week is. As I said earlier, the 1864 election was the life or death for this nation. As late as August of that year, some Republicans were even talking about having a second convention. Yeah, a second convention, believe it or not. Withdrawing the renomination of President Lincoln and finding someone else. And the leadership of Lincoln himself were convinced that as things stood, he would not be reelected and would lose the election to Democrat George McClellan. I won't get into the history of George McClellan, but let's just say he was a scumbag who endorsed slavery. Considering the circumstances of the Civil War, Lincoln was reelected, and the war was seen to the end, but slavery was not restored. The United States was not split in two. The nation did not destroy itself by committing suicide. But crazy enough, 45% of the electoral votes voted towards McClellan over Lincoln. That's how deadly serious this week is. There are other moments that this democracy could have died. The 1814 burning of Washington by the British, the Civil War, especially at Gettysburg, where Abraham Lincoln became immortal, where Donald Trump, 4 years prior, threatened to file vengeance lawsuits against those who actually accused him of sexual misconduct. Obviously, again, the Great Depression, the prospect of a full-on communist revolution or a full-on right-wing revolution, both world wars, the Cuban Missile Crisis, Watergate, the 9/11 attacks, and the proposal of one politician at the aftermath of that attack that the end of his term should be delayed by 3 months. Obviously, that would be the toucher, Rudy Giuliani. This democracy and this country are more delicate than we like to realize, and have faced more perils than we like to think. But nearly always though all those perils have been external and have united us as a nation, especially September 11th, 2001, and have not been the kind of result of a cancer growing from within, but fed, exploited, and by a pathological liar who has gained democracy, and to this day is poised to destroy democracy by the very means it provides. Freedoms which will happily destroy in his first 4 years, and will destroy in the next 4 years, thanks to his new Supreme Court appointee. That is how deadly serious this week is. Each life and death moment for this country over the last 240 plus years was met with wisdom, unity, and sacrifice. Sacrifice that you, probably even me, and a lot of us in this country may not fully understand. And none of the situations that I've mentioned, not the Second World War, not the First World War, not the Civil War, not the Revolutionary War, not Watergate, not the Vietnam War, not even September 11th, 2001, were we given the absolute powerful way of stopping this crisis. Is a simple means of protection that it rests in every man and woman in every voting booth or mail-in ballots or in every community. We don't have to go to war. We don't have to force a president from office. We don't have to forestall a revolution. We don't have to prevent the Third World War that Donald Trump and his supporters, don't make any mistake about that he and his supporters want. We don't have to stop worrying about the next pandemic in the hands of incompetent people. The crisis of this time, the Trump regime, can be prevented. The next 4 years, perhaps even the end of this country, can be prevented this day by voting. That is how critical, that is how important, that is how life-threatening, that is how life-saving, that is how deadly serious this week is. Vote. Because after this election, we may not have another election if Donald Trump is reelected. This is CTP. Know the truth. God bless. I'm asking all of you to share this video, either here on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, anywhere. Follow my videos, because quite honestly, I don't know how much time we have left. I don't know how much time I have left. I'm not waxing nostalgic. I'm not being paranoid, but right now, you have a voice. I am using my voice and my platform. We may not have a time to use it any longer if Donald Trump is reelected. Again, this is CTP. Know the truth. Share the video, comment on it. Let me know what you guys think. God bless to you all. God bless America. God bless our world. Peace to the left, justice to the right. Save our nation.